Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
Glasses are crooked more so than the hat's crooked.
I think your face is
well, my face is definitely crooked, but I always struggle with hats because I love hats. I have to because I'm trying to avoid skin cancer on my head.
Whatever. I think if you grew some hair instead of
I try every day to grow more hair.
You do not. You just shave it.
No, I don't.
Really, it won't grow.
It won't. No. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up for myself for once on that one and say, no, I don't. I don't have any hair, and I'm proud of it. Damn it!
But about the crooked thing, it exacerbates it most for me with sunglasses.
Yes,
because you look, especially the ones that like mirrored or you can't see through. Oh my gosh! I look at myself and I'm going,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or bend the sunglasses.
Exactly. So I have. Sorry, I'm cleaning up my mess. That's here. Right. I was getting so excited about the podcast, I spilled my coffee. Anyway, no, I have a pair of sunglasses that I absolutely love, and I call them my, just because I'm going to be so weird, and people can probably relate, especially those who have known me for a long time and know that where I'm going with this. But I have a Jeep obsession, and I have a pair of sunglasses that I bought specifically to ride around in the Jeep, and it's a clear frame with the mirrored, and they were so crooked and I couldn't get them to a point now where I've readjusted them, and they're Warby Parker, and what Warby Parker has you do is run it under hot water to make adjustments to the plastic frames. So I've done that so much now that the glasses are so uncomfortable that I never wear them anymore. Even though they're still my favorite from a looks perspective, my favorite sunglasses.
I think you should just tell people when they see how they're all cockeyed, you just say, I've been off-roading.
Well, I could have, but now if you look at them, they fit. They look like they fit on my face, but they're so fucking uncomfortable. Because one is pushing up my ear going out this way, and the other one is going down, and it's so weird.
Awesome. We need pictures of that. We really do.
Okay, yeah.
Social posts.
I'll totally remember to do that. I don't know if I know you probably didn't see it, but maybe Lisa saw it. I finally posted a Juicy Lucy pic 3 episodes after the Juicy Lucy episode.
I did see it, and it was awesome, and a good memory too, because I also went to Matt's for my first Juicy Lucy, and it's first of all, that place is like every bar in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
like every bar in Minnesota.
Yeah,
outside of the cities.
Yep,
and
so I miss those places.
Comfortable going there. Yes, I know.
I feel like we
comfy there.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this on the podcast before, but I know I had this exact same conversation with some of my upper Midwest friends. Yeah. Because I love those bars, and they're few and far between. In fact, speaking of Matt, I was talking to Matt yesterday about, because he's going to be here next week for we're doing some training with one of our newest folks, and so he'll be here, and we were looking for a restaurant to go Monday night for the group, and we picked a French place here in Nashville. But
what a shock!
While I was looking, because I was looking at the part of town that they're staying in, and I saw, and I can't remember the name now, of course, but I saw it's a bar, but it's actually, they call it a diner, and I can't remember the name, but it's something diner.
Okay.
It's been here forever.
But it's a bar.
It's a bar. But it's set up like a diner. And I mean, it's still got the old seats in it and the old walls and stuff it's like the bar that we're just talking. It's like Matt's, except it's more of a diner aesthetic. But it's been around forever. And slowly but surely, with all of the changes that have happened in Nashville, and when I say slowly, it's a lot faster than in most parts of the country. A lot of these old places that were staples of Nashville just can't survive because of all the new fancy stuff that's coming in. Yeah. And this is one of the last that I know of. That's the old Nashville, the old, everything. I mean, we even have something down the road here. It's called, oh boy, I haven't had enough coffee yet today. It's an old dinner theater, and it's like a barn. It's Chaffin's Barn. Okay. Chaffin's Barn. And it's all over. I don't have them up here, but We have art on our wall. Our main living room downstairs, our formal living room, is the Nashville room. So we have a Nashville sign, and
you've shown us that.
I've shown the pictures of Peyton doing the Girl in Her City, which is just her back looking at different landmarks in the city. And we also have some other like old posters that are framed downstairs, and one of them is Chafin's Barn. I mean, it's part of the ethos, part of the history. Well, it went out of business around COVID, and some guy bought it and just using the place as a warehouse now. Has no intention of ever turning it back into anything that's artsy or
Was he
historic.
not from the area?
No, he actually is let's put it this way. He comes from a family of Italians that make high-end sports cars, and the name begins with an F.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's Bob Fenza.
Exactly.
Bob Fenza. Yeah, you might have heard of my cars. Wow. Well, that's impressive. And I would think that would be the difficult part. And I know what an influx, obviously one of the fastest, if not for a while, it was the fastest growing city in the country.
One of them, yeah.
And with all that influx of new people, they have no attachment to old Nashville.
Right.
And so hence all these new restaurants and new establishments that are designed to speak to, people who are not from there.
Yeah. Well, and let's face it, it's not all, I'm of a certain generation. I like old things. I call myself an amateur historian. I love history. I love old buildings. I love living in St. Louis, not for any other reason than it has a lot of really old classical architecture. Yeah, and I love stuff like that. And it goes down to things as simple as a bar. I enjoy those sort of things. That's why we were just talking about it in Minnesota, Wisconsin. They still have places like that, and I absolutely love it. There are a lot of people of younger generations that don't have that. Like you said, it's an attachment to anything historic from the city's perspective, but anything historic in general. They just think it should all be torn down and made to be fancy.
Well, and that's true. And I think our cities are reflecting that, sadly, in a large way. But then you look at the unintended consequences of something like that, and the cities suffer as a result. They don't have an identity like they used to, or they should have. And so I'm with you. I think, everybody likes nice, new, because new to me, what's more important than new is clean.
Yes.
And if you can make something clean and it has some history along with it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But historical and dirty, I'm sorry, that does not.
I agree with
attract anybody. And so that's why it's kind of a dance a little bit, making it work for.
Well, there's a difference between historical and rundown.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Look how historical that building is. No, it's crumbling.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's so true. So we were talking a little bit about, besides the, I know people are going to be surprised that we
going back to the hat comment.
Talk about multiple things at once. Yes, the hat comment and the sunglasses comment and the crooked head comment. And both of us have that. And it's very common, actually, medically speaking. Most people are not perfectly symmetrical.
Right.
You and I certainly are not. And sometimes it's the ears are higher or lower. And sometimes you can see it in my face when I, you're on camera enough over the years. And you could just go, dude, really? And I'm making points like, why is your head tilted? I don't even know it's tilted,
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that goes on. But all of the oddness of the facial structure, you go, all right, whatever, tough. Welcome. It's called getting old.
Getting old, or just any in general. And you also have the ability to wear and not wear things. There's a reason I don't have tattoos. It's not because I don't like tattoos. I actually love tattoos. But I would look so weird with my body type, the way I dress and everything with tattoos.
I think you could pull off a neck tattoo, little Mike Tyson.
No, don't even go there. Don't even go there. That's an off-camera discussion.
Oh, great. Didn't want to know about that.
Yeah, not mine. No,
right.
But I do. I have cousins that have sleeves, and I love them. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. But I could never pull it off. I just don't have the body type for it. But the same goes even something as simple as hats. When I was at my dad's, I think looks fairly good, fairly decent in a cowboy hat. He looks like a cowboy.
Picture. He does. Yep.
I put on one of his cowboy hats. I put on several of his cowboy hats, different styles, different types. I can't even make it look even halfway decent. Like I could, if I ever turned into a rancher or a farmer of that sort, and went out there, let's just say, just randomly it happened, I would probably always wear baseball caps because they look better on me and they're more comfortable.
I see you. Well, you're Billy Crystal in City Slickers.
Exactly.
I think I see you more as Behan in Tombstone. The sheriff,
okay.
like the bowler. He had a bowler hat.
Yeah. Yep,
I
probably would. I probably
don't think
would have to wear a bowler.
I'm going to let you rest today, Behan.
Good movie. Good movie.
Yes, awesome movie. So quotable. That was that's the best part about it. So yes, I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, what a fun week I have coming up with shoulder surgery on Tuesday.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
You didn't lead with that one earlier. You were just talking about the other thing you have to.
The other thing, yes, I have. And Nick said, "Well, if you're in Florida, of course you're going to have skin issues." And I don't do a lot of time in the sun, but when I do, it's usually in our swimming pool cage, and there's something about it that diffuses the power of the sun, or at least the harmfulness of the sun. I'd never burn inside our pool cage. We've talked about this before, obviously, but I don't. And so, you need to put on sunblock to do what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something extra and I don't burn. And again, it's using common sense. I'm not out there for more than an hour ever, without getting, under the cover of the lanai. But, so anyway, I went to the dermatologist and she did a check thing and it wasn't creepy. I'm imagining that it's going to be this, come on over here. This large lady that makes you strip naked and okay, get over my lap. And she's going to, not at all. A very professional PA who did a great job. And she says, hey, if there's anything I need to check out, in your lower area, she said, I'm happy to do that. But if you haven't, no, I'm fine. So she checked everywhere else, but just really nice and really sharp. And she found a basal skin cancer on me that they just did a quick biopsy. And she said, come on in, we'll cut it out. It's an excision, as they call it. And so they'll do that next week. She said they're slow growing. They usually come right out and you'll be fine. And so don't worry about it. And
that's good.
Okay, so I've got
but that means that does mean you'll have more.
Probably. She's already
I
identified some of the other.
That's good.
It's like what did she call it? It's something denoting future potential.
Yeah.
So there are a few of those as well. But she's just going to remove them, and she'll lace them, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, my uncle had that. We had that conversation when I was in Minnesota, and he has had quite a few removed. He's bald like me. And as long as I can remember, he's always worn hats. Which, speaking of crooked, I'm going to take my headphones off for a second. I'll show you how he always wears his hat. Okay. And it's I couldn't imagine him any other way. So I'm not making fun of him. I love it. But here we go. So it's
because he can't hear me.
This is my. Yeah.
You look like
always.
A doof. Oh, wow.
Always. Maybe a little like that. Yeah.
Was his ear like yours too?
I can't hear you because I took off my
I know, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing. I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah. Oh, were you describing to the folks that aren't watching what I just did?
I did.
Because that would have been a good use of your time, John.
Yeah, no, I was both making fun of you.
Oh, okay. Oh, that works too. That's probably a better use of your time.
I'm here for the laughs.
Yeah, but he gets quite a few cut. Now, my comment to John was, yes, you moved to Wisconsin. That goes back to our conversation that we had about when I was in Minnesota and how when we were walking outside, even though it was 95 degrees and very, very humid, the sun didn't feel like it burned as much as it does when you're down here. Or when I've been to Florida plenty. When I'm down there, the sun, it feels like my skin is on fire.
It's so intense. It really is. And look, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. When I go outside the pool cage, mowing the lawn or whatever, I regularly will put on sunscreen on my arms, whatever's uncovered. And I need to. You can just tell how much more intense it is.
That's why I wear these shirts. You probably see me wear them all the time. I have a lot of These are 50. What's the sunscreen?
$50 for each sleeve.
No. It's
a 50 SPF.
SPF. I was going to PSF, and I couldn't remember. It's SPF. Yeah, so this is rated at 50 PSF, SPF.
They have down here, they're regularly referred to as fishing shirts because anybody who's out on the water, they wear them, and of course mine have fish on them. Well, I hate fishing. Look, I love people that fish.
Dockside.
Yeah, I know.
So which has a fish on the back, I think. Let's see.
It looks like a shark. Yeah, that's a shark. Okay.
Yeah, my other ones. This is the only one that has fishing stuff on it.
On the back, I think. Is Jen buying you clothes and not telling you what's on?
No, I bought this one.
Is he dressing?
I bought this in. I bought this.
Put them on and don't ask questions.
Yeah, no, I bought this one in Hilton. No, she doesn't. She doesn't. I would be dressing very differently if she bought my clothing. No, these are mine. I love these. I pretty much always wear these type of shirts.
What would she do with you if you were her little?
Oh, I don't even know.
If you were her little Nick doll.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
I think honestly now, actually, I should take that back. Honestly, now I think she's come over to my side because now she wears shirts like this too.
Okay.
So
you brought her along. But you said you would dress differently if she dressed you. Come on.
I don't know how. I'm just saying I probably would.
Yes.
I don't know, John. I seriously don't know. I just know it would be different.
Put Jen on. Is she there?
She's working.
Damn it. Can we get her on the phone and just say what she was?
She's teaching right now.
Come on.
You want me to get divorced? She would get so pissed if I called her right now.
No, I don't want that, but it would be awesome if you would interrupt her class and say, hey, I know you're in class.
She'd probably put me in. Here we go. She'd probably put me in leggings and a T-shirt because that's pretty much her uniform now.
I'd actually,
you pay money to see
really
that.
Good. Very handsome.
Yeah. With I'd also probably have a dance belt on.
I'm like you don't have one on now.
Who knows?
It's sort of like watching Xanadu.
Wow.
All
no,
right,
but I tend to wear a lot of this material, even even if it's a short sleeve, but it's like a golf shirt or something. It's the same.
It's comfy. It's comfy.
It is good. They're very comfy. It's light. It's very silky. It's very soft.
Yep.
My shorts are actually they're 32 Cool, which you and I have talked about before, which also has the SPF. See, I got it right that time.
Lisa got a really nice dress from them, by the way.
Oh, really?
From 32 Cool. And it's beautiful, and she loves it. And I'm like, oh, was that ever nice? 32 Cool. Because you know it's going to be not crazy expensive. That's why
exactly
does the brand name with me.
Yeah. No, it's great. The only problem, I think that they make very light, very soft, very quality stuff. I mean, I've worn out my T-shirts, but I wear T-shirts all the time. So even under my other clothes, so that's just natural. But I haven't really worn out the other clothes. I think the biggest issue 32 Cool has, if I were to pick something that I've experienced, and maybe other people have had other experiences, it's inconsistent. And what I mean by that is I have a pair of khakis and I have a pair of blue pants. And I love those two pairs of pants. They're very comfortable. They look good on me. They're perfectly sized. I had those for about 8 months, and I'm like, I think I need more of these and get some other colors. So I ordered another pair of khakis because I like khakis, a pair of gray pants, and a pair of one other color. I don't even remember what the other color is because I don't wear them anymore. I think they were dark blue. But anyway, I get them. I order the same size, the same type. Everything is exactly the same as the last one I ordered, and they're big and baggy on me, all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not tough. How this works.
That's tough. Yep.
And they don't shrink. I thought, okay, maybe the other ones fit so well because I put them in the washer and they shrank.
Sure.
And I did that with these, and nope, they didn't shrink. Exactly the same size.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works, and it's so silly because 95% probably of my closet remains untouched.
Yeah.
But yet I have dress shirts and I have khakis, and if I wear khakis once a month, seriously, that's the most.
Yeah.
And suits, we've talked about suits and sport coats, but you still got to have them.
Yeah.
But they just occupy all this space, and they're never, let's see, T-shirts and shorts today? Sure. Flip-flops. Yep. All right. I'll throw on some underwear. You're welcome. And that's it.
Well, I'll let you in a secret. And just because the color is not matching here is I'm actually wearing pajama pants still. And these are 32 Cool pajama pants.
They have
that's pretty much the
horses on there? They have
horses? No. They're just regular. No, my underwear does. So
didn't know that.
Kidding.
Don't show us.
They have little shrimp.
Is that what it says on your underwear?
Exactly.
I'm a little shrimp. You probably should get rid of those. That is not good
maybe.
advertising.
Anyway,
honey, have you seen my little shrimp underwear? Sadly, yes, I have. That was my Jen impression. I'm sorry, that wasn't good.
That's not a very good one.
If she
actually,
man,
it's pretty.
That would
It's
be her voice.
closer than you think. No, my uniform at home is usually one of these shirts, shorts, or 32 cool pajama pants because they're so light. They're almost like wearing shorts.
Well, that's nice. And the neighbors think you're nude, so that's the problem.
Yeah. No, it's only when I wear my nude colored pajama pants.
Yeah, I would.
Which I wear often.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a picture. I'm going to work really hard to get out of my head.
And it never will. It's going to be different. And I'm going to keep reminding you. I might even send you a picture.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll automatically send it to,
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you're dealing with the cancer thing, but the sun is a horrible thing, which is also why my
amazing thing.
And speaking of Jen, no, I'm actually, so you and I disagree on a couple of things, and everyone knows that. One is I would much rather it be cloudy all day long than sunny. I am not a sun fan, never have been. I like dreary. I'm weird like that. I also like cold. I'm weird like that. You like sun and you like warm.
I do.
And there are probably more of you than there are of me.
Well, currently, if you just look at us on screen, there's way more of me than there is of you. Yeah, thank you.
But I get a little bit of shit at home because I have so many different hats. I think you guys you haven't even seen even a tenth of the number of hats I have here. I mean, if you look, I'm not going to show you because my desk is
take a guess.
messy.
How many?
I don't know.
What's the total?
Maybe 40.
Okay, 40 is not crazy. I probably
for me it's crazy.
15 to 20.
Okay.
I just wear them as often as you, but
I wear them mainly because of my head, because I'm bald. And part of it is I got a little of a, like you have literal things, literal scares that you've gone through with medicine, but I had a little bit of a scare and something that I've always prided myself on because it's something that's it's a thing and you can't see it now, which is unfortunate, but it's a thing that a lot of people have always said is one of my greatest physical attributes or things that people have been attracted to, including my wife. I have had, and I'm putting it as past tense, had very bright blue eyes. Peyton luckily has the same eyes I had when I was younger, just very bright, very blue. And as I was growing up playing a lot of golf, I never wore hats, build hats, and I never wore sunglasses. So I don't have right now, I don't have anything that would worry any doctors about my skin. Even though I never wore sunscreen either. But I went to get my eyes checked and one of the doctors was looking at it and he's like, I can see a film over your eyes. And I'm like, oh, am I starting to get cataracts? He's like, no, it's not cataracts. It's a film that'll never go away. Your eyes are getting a little bit grayer instead of staying that blue. Okay. And it's sun damage. He said, I can tell when you were a kid, you never wore sunglasses or a hat.
Wow.
Yeah. And he said that if you don't start wearing hats and wearing sunglasses more often, you could lose your vision.
Wow, that's quite a jump.
Yeah. So I don't remember what it's called, but that's ever since then I have been almost obsessive. Like I was proud of myself, but I'm already kicking myself. Not kicking is probably bad. But when we took our trip to Minnesota, I forgot to grab one of my hats. Which was okay because I had every intention. I really wanted to get a nice Twins hat, Minnesota Twins hat for a long time. And so I was going to get one while I was up there. So I would have had a hat anyways, but I never ended up buying one because I never found one I liked. And I went without a hat, which is very rare for me because I always carry a hat with me. I have two sitting in the Jeep. I have two sitting in the mid-sized truck of unknown origin. I say that for a reason because I have a segue here in a second.
Good.
So I constantly wear hats and I always have my sunglasses with me, which is weird because I wear glasses and I don't have clip-ons. So you'll see me walking around with one set of glasses here, whether it's my sunglasses or regular glasses and the other one's on. And I'm constantly doing this.
Yeah. Are they prescription? Are your sunglasses prescription?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep. I am eventually going to do the LASIK thing, but it freaks me out.
I'm not a candidate, so I can't.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah,
I should be. According to the eye doctors, I should be able to do the. And my dad's had it done, and his vision was a lot worse than mine. So and he absolutely raves about it. He loves it.
Does
that
he
was
have to wear
25 years
glasses?
ago. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with reading glasses. Be fine with
the trade-off.
Yep,
it's a trade-off. You can see my light battery died, so I'm messing with my other one here. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
for the lighting, for those of you who are not just listening,
lighting is very important. I keep telling you, go to a Mac. You don't need any lighting.
For a podcast, it's not.
That's true. That's true.
I'm on the treadmill. Oh, John's lighting's bad. Who gives a rat's ass?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
so segue time. Since I was talking about the mid-sized truck of unknown origin, our friend Bill. Sorry, Bill, I'm calling you out, man. I know. So he just a couple of years. I mean, he's a very young man. So a couple of years working for a automotive enterprise, an automotive OEM that shall
a couple.
I know he's mentioned it on the podcast, but I'm not going to call out which one.
No, it's
just
fine.
A couple of years, But Bill sent me a text the other day, and it was a very simple question. And of course, there is no simple answer with me. It's why I have a podcast. I like to talk.
True. What?
So, and I'm going to pull it up so I can get the context exactly right here. So give me just a second to pull his text message up. And Bill, please, after this episode airs and you don't want me to talk about this, we'll definitely not take it down. He said, "Hi, Nick, Bill Taylor here." Oh, nope, that's not it. Hold on. That was way too far back.
It's a different one. Here are those shots you asked about.
Yep. Okay. I love it, Bill. You start. Bill, I have your name in my phone.
Pictures you wanted.
Exactly. No, I have your name in my phone, and he still always starts it. "Hey, Nick, Bill Taylor here." It's
oh my gosh,
I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Anyway, based on your experience, would you recommend leasing a Wrangler 4xe? That was his question.
Yes.
Now, John, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm actually going to.
You can't answer a yes or no. There's no way you could do that.
So I'm going to show you. Can you see how long my response was?
Oh my goodness!
And that's not even the end. Yeah, that was my response. Yeah, but
wow.
I started with well, 2 paragraphs, and that's the only ones I'm going to read. But then we're going to explain the rest. I said, "Oh boy, that's a hard question to answer. Do you have your reading pants on? This might be longer than usual answer. I apologize if I repeat things I've said on the podcast. Short answer." See, I did do a short answer. "Unless you have unlimited funds, I would only ever lease a 4xe. And yes, I would do it again. But there are some pros and cons to consider with that answer." Keep reading for more on that.
Can I just ask? I need to butt in with a question.
Yeah. You butt in?
Actually have listening pants?
I hope so. Not listening, reading pants. I'm sure he has listening pants because he's usually walking when he's listening.
That's different, but reading pants, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have reading pants?
Yeah. My pajamas.
I guess that's why I should get some reading pants so I read more.
Yes. I didn't say they were good reading pants.
I can't believe he needed reading pants to.
Yeah. No. Anyway, so
finish what you were.
So I went. Well, no. The whole point. I'm not going to go through it all because you and I have talked extensively about all the pros and cons. But one thing I realized as I was actually putting it in writing, there are so many more cons to owning a Jeep than there are pros.
Okay.
So many more cons. And I had a conversation with another person, and I think I may have put it in that response. I don't remember. It's so long. I don't want to read the whole thing to find out. But one thing I did say is,
on your reading pants, it'll be
exactly. I said, here's the bottom line. Yes, there are more cons than there are pros, but once you own a Jeep, those cons don't matter because it's a Jeep. It's like the meme. Let's see if I can pull this up again. I was sharing with one of my coworkers, Andrew. Hey, buddy. I know he listens. So, but hold on. Let me see if I still have it up here. It's what kind of car do you have? I got a Jeep. What's wow. So how does it go? There's 4 lines, and it's what kind of car do you have? A Jeep. Something positive. It's a Jeep. And then it's something like, what's the, or how good is the gas mileage? And it's a Jeep. And then it goes negative and then a negative. And then he's like, what's your next car going to be? A motherfucking Jeep. It's a cult. It is definitely a cult. And that's what I found so funny about that, is because, I did put in there, it's the best piece of machinery that anyone could ever have. I mean, it goes anywhere, does anything, and it's wonderful. But if you're going to own or even lease a Jeep, you're going to dump money into it, and there are going to be a lot of problems, but it is such a cool car.
Yeah. The Jeep, it's an odd situation with the Jeep, and it's probably the last 25 years, Stellantis Jeep has figured out that they can make the most of that.
Oh,
they
yeah,
didn't
absolutely.
at first, and that's why people got hooked in, because it was a great deal for what it was. Nobody tried to oversell it.
Oversell it, and yeah. Is it worth the money? Absolutely not.
No, and they put the big money on it, but the point is, it's no different than Harley-Davidson or Indian motorcycles.
100%.
Well, I mean, it's different in a sense, but
physically it's different, but in the cultish.
Well, yeah, that and Harley's paying the price for that right now, and that would be fun to chat about that just a little bit too.
Sure.
But yeah, it is that huge price, amazingly big price. Harley wondered why, when they came out with the Livewire, the electric motorcycle, that it didn't. Well, 30,000 seems like a good deal.
Yeah,
it was terrible, and it was a huge number, and it did not fit the profile that they've been building on for all these years that made them worth so much money. So, you have to stay within that realm if you're going to make it work. So, Jeep has managed to improve the vehicle dramatically. The vehicles dramatically.
Yes, and no. Part of the comment
compared to what they were. I think about the old Chrysler motors that they were trying to put in.
Sure.
No offense to anybody, but that was. When you're charging the money they were charging, they should have had nicer equipment in those vehicles.
Yes. But there are some things like the old JKs, not JKs. I'm sorry, not the JKs, the TJs, the old TJs, the late 90s, early 2000s, the ones that I love.
Square
headlights? Those
lights?
had no,
The round one.
no, John,
Okay.
don't.
Just wanted to ask.
That's downright offensive.
Need to bring that back just to remind you what you're about. Hey,
no.
Harley-Davidson, you bring back AMF, and you go, all right, fine. All right, go ahead.
Anyway,
continue.
They had the bulletproof 4.0. I mean, that thing, to this day, I guarantee there are Jeeps out there running 300,000 miles on that 4.0 inline six. It was a great motor. The difference between that and what I have now, and Bill, I don't know if I honestly don't remember if I put it in there, or because I had this exact same conversation with Andrew too. If you look under the hood, I could, even with, I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to mechanical things. I'm not a repairman, but I know things that I can do to fix the engine on that TJ. I open the hood on my JL now, and I look at it, and it's one giant computer. That's all it is.
Well, new vehicles are mostly,
and mine doesn't even have an alternator. I mean, it's confusing. I couldn't work on it. You have to take it to a tech to work on this thing, and even they won't work on it. And that's a whole other story, and something I did add into Bill's response about just, I'm not even going to mention that, because I'm just not going to, because it just makes me so angry that there's not a lot of support.
If somebody were going with something that was not a 4xe, but rather an ICE engine,
you'd probably be better off.
Well, because you're going to have somebody who's willing and able to work on it at the dealership.
Yes. Well, and here's the other thing too, and this is something that's, I find it funny, because when we were talking about getting a truck and getting that particular mid-sized truck of unknown origin, we both thought that, and everyone told me that Jen would probably fall in love with it and want to drive it all the time. Well, lately, because, and I think I may have explained this before, because Jen doesn't drive very far around, she's been driving the Jeep all summer. because not all summer, whenever I get to take the top down, I'm driving it.
Yes.
But she's been driving it mostly because she can do the battery thing. Well, Peyton's school it's not 11 miles away, but it's exactly 11 miles on a charge. So the Jeep gets between 22 and 24 miles to a charge, obviously depending on hills and stuff like that. So we can do the school on one charge. So go from the house to the school back. But I don't have a level 2 charger at home, so we don't get a full charge back on the Jeep. So when she goes back to pick up Peyton, she's got enough to get there, but not enough charge to get back. So she's burning gas again. Not that it's a ton. I mean, the average gas mileage on this brick on wheels is 36 miles to the gallon, which is unheard of when you're talking about a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
But even so, Jen is actually starting to enjoy driving the Jeep a bit more, which I thought was funny. She still doesn't like driving the truck, but she is enjoying driving the Jeep. She's not taking full advantage of it. Obviously, she doesn't want to take the top off and all that stuff that I like to do off road and stuff. But she does like it. She even said to me, because we're talking, we are getting rid of it. I made the decision. It's hard for me, but I am going to turn it in at the end of the lease. Not going to get another one. It's more for financial reasons than anything else.
Sure.
I'm getting a company car, which is great. So I don't need to have an extra car payment for something I'm not going to drive very much sitting in the garage. But she also said that she would actually be for keeping it and buying it out if the battery got more range. So she didn't have to try to get it charged. And I think that's where they've missed the mark. I don't think anyone driving a Wrangler really cares if it's full electric. Nobody wants full electric. But everything that I've heard is just double the miles. You give us 50 miles on a charge, it's perfect. For what we use these things for, 50 miles on a charge is perfect. So once they do that, that's probably when they'll be more worth buying, I would say.
So much of it is battery technology, and it's going to come. I mean, you look at where we were 20 years ago compared to where we are now.
And I just read an article that they're working on solid state batteries for cars, which that's going to be huge.
There's a lot of stuff coming. On the other hand, it's that discomfort with not being sure, am I going to have enough to get to where I need to go? And then what if the level 2 charger isn't operational, which happens a lot.
It does.
There are all of those things that it just makes a hybrid more attractive if you like that technology.
Yeah.
So that one way or the other, I think you're approaching it in the right way. I think that when they come around with the 50-mile range, maybe, I mean, is that something that you would consider again, maybe next time?
Absolutely.
Sure, maybe. Yeah. But otherwise.
Well, and I mean, the other option too, I told her, I said, well, if that is an option and we want to move forward with that, I can get a level 2 charger for $300.
Oh,
and I already have the 220 because this house used to have a hot tub. I did tell her that she has to choose between a level 2 charger and a hot tub, but level 2 charger is much cheaper.
Or you could put the hot tub in the Jeep, and
there you go.
Just think that through.
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm done. I'm not going to wish a hot tub. Hot tub, they're a lot more work than you would think. I mean, our pool was work. But you expect it to be. Hot tub, you kind of go, oh, it's like a little tiny pool. It should be easy, and it's a little more work because there's more stuff.
Yes. Yes, there is.
But anyway, let's move to the Harley-Davidson stuff just real quickly. If
I'm ready.
And this is, I'm really finding it interesting, and I didn't prep anything on this, but I have been following it. Robbie Starbuck is a guy who's kind of been calling out some DEI laden corporations. And he was the one that kind of brought Tractor Supply to the front, and John Deere as well. And they both backed off after they got a little... Not
just a little back off, like completely eliminated
I would say 75% for John Deere and probably 100%, close to 100 for Tractor Supply. There are some that are just afraid to let it go, which makes me wonder what Harley's thinking. I'm not certain that this isn't a purposeful dismantling of that company.
You know what? I'm gonna. it's really, I think it's all due to a four-letter word that starts with F. That's causing all of it.
Frankincense? No, that's got
No,
more.
that's not
more letters.
it's more than 4 letters.
What is the 4-letter word? What hit?
Found on road dead.
Oh, what?
Fucked over rebuilt Dodge.
Why Ford?
Don't they own a part of Harley?
No.
Aren't they the parent company?
No.
I think they are, John.
I'll bet you anything they're not, Nick. I don't know where you
let's
came
find
up
out.
with that, but no.
No, someone told me that.
BlackRock owns 10% of Harley-Davidson. Harley is a publicly held company.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
BlackRock is the number one holder of stock.
I'm going to ask the internet.
Or for Harley-Davidson. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, then you'll know it's for sure.
I know. It's everything on the internet's real.
No, it's not. I would say it's much more likely BlackRock, and they're probably pushing this as they are, and they have their own gauges for DEI layers and so on. No, it is not. I don't know where you came up with.
Oh, you know what? Here it is. They tried to buy Harley-Davidson.
Well, that's the same as owning it.
Well, no, someone told me along the way that they had.
When was this?
This was.
I've never heard anything about that.
Hold on.
No.
Yeah, it was 7 years ago, but
okay. I would say that I know they've had cooperative relationships.
Yes, yeah. Well, I knew that. They had the Harley version of the
Harley
F-150,
and they did collaborate in those, and that's fine. What's happening though, sadly, is you have a CEO at Harley-Davidson who was put in place by the board, and he is just as left as you could possibly be when it comes to DEI and inclusion and all of that. That is really not, as was shown to John Deere and Tractor Supply, not compatible with Harley's customer base. Now, for years, they wanted to expand their customer base, but wanting to and doing it are two different things. So they are paying a huge price. And what happened at Sturgis the last week?
I didn't hear anything. What happened at Sturgis?
Oh my gosh! Well, Harley spends, let's just say, tens of thousands of dollars, maybe more, putting up. I mean, going after their customers at Sturgis. Sturgis had, I've heard, between 500,000 and 700,000 people at the #1 bike rally, the 84th annual, I think, bike rally in the country. And they had virtually no one at their tent. When I say
seriously,
tent, it's massive. The entire 10 days or 11 days or whatever it was.
Oh, wow.
Because they're pissed. And this is, they have not even said, hey, we're sorry. We know we were trying to do this and we want to be nothing. No response. And they have shut down all interaction on all of their social media. They've shut it down. So anybody who comes in and wants to comment on something they're doing or give them, it's shut down. So X is not, they're just not reacting to anything.
That's not good. That's bad. That's bad PR.
It's so stupid.
Well, even Bud Light came out and said stuff.
They didn't. Bud Light never apologized.
No, they never apologized. No, they never did. No, but
and Harley has not either. And this is one of those things that can wreck the brand or will wreck the brand. And so these guys, Robbie Starbuck, is saying, hey, think about Indian. Well, Indian is owned by Polaris, and Polaris is no stranger to DEI, although Indian, the company, has, publicly said, hey, we're an American company and Harley's sending business to Thailand, have been for several years now.
Yeah.
And building bikes there. And Polaris says, we're an American company. We build all our bikes here. And so good for Indian. They're putting their themselves in the right place.
Yeah. Well, you and I have always talked about it. I've always liked Indian better anyways. Even though I don't ride bikes and I will never own a bike, but I do enjoy Indian bikes better.
I have not ridden one. Mm-hmm. I've seen them. I think they're fine. They look a lot like Harleys. They're priced a lot like Harleys.
Yeah.
And if they're not promoting a DEI culture, then there are a whole lot of Harley owners who are going to say, you know what? I'll sell this thing. I'll take a shot at Indian.
Maybe they'll sell it.
Well, yeah. Well, no, there are some who are just blowing it up. They're blowing their bikes up. Some guy took, I don't know, 5 different machine guns, parked his bike in a range, and
That's
just
someone
blew
has
the
way too
hell
much
out
money
of
and
it.
time on their hands.
I'm not refuting that, but I will say that's really probably not going to happen with a Suzuki owner.
No,
They'll
probably
just
not.
get rid of it and off they go.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the positioning and why they feel the need to do this if they're not trying to just destroy an American brand that's been around. Indian has been around longer, although they were out of business for a while and they brought the brand back. But it's an iconic brand, and you got people with tattoos that say Harley-Davidson on their arms, and they're not going to be happy about this if they're suddenly the company is holding itself up as indicative of something other than what they buy into.
Well, it'll be interesting we'll have to keep an eye on it and make sure it's a centerpiece, as the Jeep has been, to the PoddiMouths podcast.
Well, it's fun to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And as my bike that's sitting out about 50 yards from me is depreciating loudly,
rapidly. Time to get an Indian.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush. We'll see how that all works out. I'll just take all the nomenclature off.
This is probably akin to everyone thinking that the recession was at full blown when we had one day of a stock market dip. Major. I mean, it was a major dip. But everyone was freaking out for that one day, and then the markets just started going back up. It's like
the market has a mind of its own, and
it really does.
Honestly, it's still a long. You want to be in for the long play. You just want to, and if that changes, it changes, and bigger things have happened if it changes.
Yeah, I know very few people that put their money in the stock market and just left it there who didn't make money.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And so that's what but it's still, you know how the media hypes everything. And that scares people. It scares people. And you get folks who, well, should I sell it? Should I buy gold? Should I? Man, get your eggs out of one basket. That's probably the best favor you can do. But don't worry about it. Leave your money where it is.
Yep, exactly. On that note, my friend.
It's a good note, brother.
Yeah, it was I think it was a decent episode.
I think as our episodes go, we've had some crappy ones.
Oh, we have had some major crappy ones. So, no, I do want to, there was someone who was listening, and I'm not going to call him out because, I don't know how he feels about this, but I really appreciate one of our listeners who listened to
all of our listeners.
We appreciate all of our listeners, but this one in particular was listening to an episode it happened to be a classic, and I don't think he saw the title to note that it was a classic.
Oh gosh.
And I guess in that classic episode, I asked everyone to go up to a certain website to vote for my wife's business. Oh. And so he did. He went up to the website and they let him in, and he voted for the business. And wonderful that he voted for the business. Love that. I just thought it was funny. So we can see how, awesome. Our episodes have impacted people so much that they don't even know when it's an old one versus a new one. So we must be really good at what we do.
Either that or we are just aging really well.
That too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that one didn't have a video to it. That one was that old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when we could wear our pajama pants. Never mind.
It's when we could wear shorts and a black t-shirt.
Exactly. Remember those good old days.
Those are great days. And those days we'll hopefully have back soon.
Heck yeah.
I can't think of anything else. I could think of a ton of things, but our listeners are only good for about 48 minutes and 28 seconds.
Good
listeners.
Thank you.
Yeah, good listeners. Yeah.
And viewers.
But you know what? You can always hear more episodes, some of our past episodes, by heading up to PoddiMouths.com. Check out our merch store, all that good stuff. Leave comments everywhere. I know for a fact that we're probably going to hear from Bill, which I love.
So.
Yeah.
Always good to hear from
Bill. One other thing that he had mentioned, and because you were talking about bringing back old brands that have really good names, and I know he's excited about. I'm excited about seeing what happens with. And the name just leapt out of my head. I want to say International, but it's not International. But it's the truck company that VW owns. It's a Bronco. It was. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Scout. Scout. I got it. It came to
well,
be Scout.
it was International Scout. That's what it was called. Yeah,
right. But they've renamed it Scout, the brand. So I'm looking forward to. It's supposed to be all electric, so it'll be in that Hummer category, I guess, but not quite as big, obviously, because it's a Scout. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they come out with. I really am. I think it'll be a good.
I just hope they do it justice.
I agree.
I
agree. And I'm hoping that the fact that
things like that.
Exactly. I'm hoping that if the amount of time that they're taking to get this thing to market, they're actually trying to do it right. So I'm gonna put there. What did Bill say about hope? Because I had said that when we were talking about it, and he had a great thing about hope here.
Okay.
And then we'll leave it. Okay, the only difference between hope and hype is never mind.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was fantastic.
That's Bill. I knew it was going to be something profound like that.
All right, folks, you have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you all next week. Bye, John.
Good to seeing you all. Thanks, Nick. Adios.